Hi everybody, welcome. Today we have a very interesting topic and it will reduce our sentences in a good way. The topic is participle clauses and we are going to divide it into present and past participle. In the case of the present participle, we're going to use verbs in ing termination, that is the participle form. In some cases you call it gerund form, yeah, but they are verbs in base form plus ing. Now, the first one, I have here one example. While I was watching a movie, I found the answer. Yeah? Then, we're going to use a verb with ing termination to substitute, to replace a time clause. What is a time clause? When, while, after, etc. plus subject plus verb. In this case, I have while I, subject, was watching. Yeah, this is the complete verb because it's the conjugation. So it says that we are going to use the main verb to substitute the time clause. The time clause is this and this. So I'm going to substitute all this information with the main verb. Watch, watching. Watching a movie, I found the answer. Yeah, you substituted all this with only the present participle form of the verb. Watching a movie, I found the answer. Yeah, that is number one. Then we have the second present participle clause. Because I felt really sad, I chose to go to sleep. So in this case, we're going to substitute or to replace a clause of reason. Remember, reason, time. Yeah, that's why we have here because, as, since. With this, we indicate reason. Yeah. So because I felt really sad, I chose to go to sleep. So the clause of reason includes because, as, since, subject and verb. So because, subject and verb. And we're going to use the main verb. What was the main verb of the action? Feel. With ing. Feeling really sad, I chose to go to sleep. As you can see, we reduce the sentence. Yeah, we eliminate because, subject, and the original verb or the original conjugation of the verb to use present participle form. Feeling. Feeling sad, I chose. So that's when we have a clause of reason, clause of time, etc. And the third form. In this case, I have this example for you. The girl that is dancing with Bob is my girlfriend. That's so sad. Why, Bob? Why? Why with my girlfriend? So, in this case, we are going to use the present participle to replace a relative clause in the active voice. Remember active and passive voice? Yeah, this is active, normal form, normal voice. So, to replace the relative clause, do you remember the relative clauses? Who, that, which. For example, the girl that, or maybe here we can use who. The girl who is dancing with Bob is my girlfriend. Yeah? So we're going to replace the relative clause. Yeah? Who, that, which, where. You remember that? And the verb. In this case, who and is dancing. Remember, is dancing is the verb because it's the conjugation. So we're going to replace this with the main verb in participle form. What was the verb? Dancing. The girl dancing with Bob is my girlfriend. Still so sad. Why, Bob? Why, girlfriend? Yeah, so these are the participle clauses in present form. Yeah? Now, wait for the participle form. Okay, now we have the participle form, but in past, yeah, of participle clauses. Now, remember that the participle past is divided into different forms with verbs that are regular with termination ed, walked, danced, wanted, etc., and irregular verbs that they come in your list of verbs. Maybe you remember that, or in your verbs exam. Go, went, gone. Be, was, were, been. Run, ran, run, etc. Yeah? Now we're going to use those verbs. In the first case, look, I have my example. We were hit by a train and survived. Yeah? So, we're going to use the past participle instead of the subject plus the verb in the passive voice. As you can see, this is a passive voice sentence. We were hit, yeah, by the train. Now, we're going to use it instead of the subject. We, verb, remember, were hit is the complete verb because it was a conjugation. Now, what was the action? Hit. Hit in past, hit. Hit in past participle, hit. So, hit by a train. Now, I'm going to modify this sentence a little. I'm going to erase and, comma, and I'm going to include the object of the person, of the sentence, sorry. Hit by a train, we survived. Yeah? So, hit replaced the subject and the verb. Hit by a train, we survived. Yeah? And I included we to be a little bit more specific about who received the action. Then, I'll have another example. Bags that are made of animal fur are expensive. You know animal fur like crocodile, foxes, seals, etc. Now, we are going to use the past participle to replace a relative clause in passive voice. Passive voice one more time. So, do you remember the relative clauses? Who, which, that. This again, I have that, but I can use a different relative clause in this. I'm talking about, no, sorry, not who. I'm talking about objects. I can say bags which are made of animal fur are expensive. So I'm going to replace the relative clause in participle form. And I forgot to say it. Plus the verb. I'm not going to touch the object, yeah, or the subject of the sentence. I'm going to replace the relative clause and the verb. So, which are made. Yeah? So, what was the main action? Make. The participle form of make? Made. Bags made of animal fur are expensive. Yeah? So I substituted the relative clause and the verb for the participle form. And here I substituted the subject and the verb. Yeah? And the third example. If they are used for hunting, guns are a good option. Yeah? So, this is a conditional sentence. If, yeah? If they are used for hunting, guns are a good option. So I'm going to use the participle form of the verb to substitute or to replace a conditional sentence containing passive voice. Yeah? In this case, remember that my conditional sentence is where I have the if. So until the comma, this is my conditional sentence. Then, if they are used for hunting, then I'm going to replace if, subject, and the verb. Then I'm going to use the main verb in participle form. What is the participle form of use? Used. Used for hunting, guns are a good option. Yeah, so this is how we use the different past participle clauses to replace parts of the sentence. Yeah? And in a moment, I will show you how to do it in negative form.